And welcome back to another RSG Lunch Stream. I'm Ranger J 1999, your host and part of the RSG crew. Welcome to another lunch stream. If you're wondering what the lunch stream is, that's where we hang out with you wonderful folks for the next hour or so and try to bring you some quality entertainment as best we can. Glad to have everybody here. Hope everybody's having a great day at work. Let's introduce everybody. Of course, collecting questions and monitoring the chat. We've got Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman.
Howdy. I had seen some patients this morning, and sometimes they say the weirdest. So, I'll tell that story after introductions.
You know what else is weird is when you come and talk with your patients on a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes show. What's wrong with you, Finn?
Oh, because what he said was hilarious. So I felt this is a lunch stream. This is not Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. This is a lunch stream.
Okay.
So we go to entertain.
Okay.
And it is an entertaining
right
thing that the guy said.
Okay. All right. Well, so far Finn's had weird patient story day. I don't know what the hell to call that. Someone that does not look at patients daily, but is raising my young apprentice, the one and only Xylo.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And also joining us from across the pond, we have the one and only Mike Hunt, minus his swear and dancing daughter.
Yes, she has been, she's downstairs. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, my friend. So if you're new to the lunch stream and you have questions, go ahead and put your questions in the chat. Make sure you put the word question in front of the statement that you are looking to do, and Dr. Finn will scoop those up, and we'll try to get it to as many as we can, if not all the questions, after we do our roster review. If you haven't already, hit the thumbs up on the channel. That helps us get our content out into the YouTube world. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We do a lot of live streaming. I'll do some Battlefront 2 tonight. I'll do some before. What time are you guys doing your thing tonight, Dr. Finn?
8.
So if I can start mine, say 6. Do a couple hours and then right into your guys. So we'll do a double header for you. We'll do some Battlefront tonight, and then it'll lead right into whatever game Dr. Finn's doing tonight, which is, what are you guys doing? Borderlands? What game are you guys picking?
We are actually going to do Heroes of the Storm.
So there you
go.
go.
We're going to have a new one today.
Okay, see? And then, so we got that going on. If you haven't checked out our Patreon, please do. I'd like to thank all our Patreon supporters. We've reached our first goal on Patreon, Dr. Finn.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, we're at
I didn't check this morning.
I did, and we hit the first mark, which was I think.
Oh, that's awesome!
Yeah, so now we're going for the second one. The other thing.
Well, thank you very much, people. That really helps us. I don't think you guys realize how much we appreciate your support, because really, like, a lot of this is because we have like the good internet and everything, thanks to you guys previously with Super Chat and now with the Patreon. Like, it really does keep this moving forward for us. So thank you very much.
Yes, it does. Also,
you love us. You really love us.
Oh God, groom the mechanics here. Oh jeez.
What's up, guys?
Well, the show's over. Oh God. But yeah, also this Saturday we are going to be doing a mega stream to help raise money for what we are doing for the American Cancer Society, so we can go in April and run a half marathon, which I have been training for religiously, dieting and exercise. It sucks ass. I don't drink alcohol anymore or soda or anything, and I eat healthy, and I run my ass off. Thanks, Dr. Finn. But we are.
You're welcome.
Finn's in there eating Twinkies. Like, I'm just gonna walk.
No, I am not eating Twinkies. I haven't been able to go to the gym lately because work has kind of picked up, but I have been eating well to make sure that I'm keeping up. So
there you go.
I'm heading back to the gym tomorrow.
There you go. So that being said, we have a GoFundMe. We're going to try to raise the last part. We're over halfway with what we need for the GoFundMe, if I'm not mistaken, Dr. Finn.
Oh, yeah. We're well over halfway now. So our goal is 2,300, and now we're almost at 1,400. So
there you go. So Saturday, we're doing a mega stream. We're going to try to knock out that last 900 for the GoFundMe, and then we're going to go straight into raising the money for ACS. Right. I mean, it's going to be, hopefully it's a quick transition. We can knock it out and we can just get to the goal that we need. So that is our goal. And you know us, we set a goal and then we're like, okay, we hit it and then let's blow it out of the water. But we want to be realistic, Dr. Finn, so we've got certain goals set up. So if you haven't checked out our GoFundMe, please do. Alrighty then. Well, we always start here with...
Well, can I tell my really quick story here? It's really quick. So I was seeing a patient, and it was a 75-year-old guy. We were just like doing typical like question thing at the beginning, how he's doing and everything. And he's an older man, so one of the questions is, do you have any issues with erections? Like, do you have any erectile dysfunction or something? The guy's response was like the greatest response I've ever heard in my life. It is, oh, doc, no, I don't have any issues. I just got myself a 40-year-old nymphomaniac girlfriend, and she dumped a 55-year-old man for me. I'm on the top of the world.
Okay, there you go.
I'm like,
wow.
All right.
Just wow.
And he was like,
science.
And one of the doctors I was working with was just like, wow, that's different. You have a picture of her? And his response was, well, not without clothes on.
Nah.
Wow.
Like, he had to search through his phone to find like a non-nude picture of her. It was hilarious.
Well,
it was, I think, the greatest response to that question I've ever had in my life.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Dude is on the top of the world. That's all I gotta say.
All right.
That's science.
That is science. Damn if I agree.
Why can't that happen to me?
You know what,
You're not
Finn?
75 years old,
Yeah,
and you haven't met a 40-year-old woman looking
Yeah, I mean,
straight
what
in
the
for
hell?
I
something
guess.
Yeah, I mean, now, Dr. Finn, since you are a medical doctor, I'd like you to get us all Viagra. Not that we need it. It's fun.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No.
I have, what is it, EB or whatever?
ED is erectile dysfunction.
No, the other part that it's used for, because Viagra wasn't originally used for ED, wasn't
for
it?
PE.
PE, that's right.
If you have a PE, you should be in the hospital. It's a pulmonary embolism. That means you're on your way of dying.
Yeah, that's what I have, Finn.
Well, technically, I live at high altitude, so I could have that.
See, there you go.
Couldn't P stand for premature, which is another option.
Mike, we're trying to get free medicine here, and you're farting it all up.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we all have PE.
That was my interesting.
I remember the first time we had someone say like, "Here, try this." They're like, we were drunk and like, "Try this. What is it, Viagra?" Okay, and I'm like, "This shit doesn't do anything." And then about an hour later, I'm like, "Holy cow, this stuff's dynamite!" Wow.
All right, to the roster review.
It does work. But yeah, PE. All right, so let's get to the roster review. Today we are doing Draytons Pearl. Drayton. He is in ANZGC.
Yep, that's the. I'm gonna probably get this like the last one's wrong, but it's the Asian New Zealand Guild Coalition. I think is what it's in.
There you go.
But it's like the largest Asian and New Zealand, not Asian, Australian and New Zealand kind of guild group. They're really good guys though. I've talked to a few of them kind of outside, so good group of dudes.
Yeah, usually Australians and New Zealand they're just very nice people. I know quite a few, and they're very lovely people. All right, so what is Drayton looking for in his roster review, Dr. Finn? I saw there was a lot there, so let's go step by step.
So he broke down a few things he wanted us to focus on. He also gave some additional information I didn't post there, but I'll give that to you guys as we're moving along.
Take over. I got a phone call. Go ahead.
Okay. So the first thing he's looking for is, and I'll just kind of go through this while Ranger's on the phone because I won't be able to control the screen. So we'll have bounty hunters. So he's looking for what he should do with his bounty hunters. He's looking to see which 5 he should work on first. His current plan is to work on Bosk, Boba, IG-88, and then beyond that he hasn't decided. And so we'll look at his bounty hunters. The next thing is to look at his territory wars. He's in a 165 mil GP guild, and just looking at as to what squads he can build. He put the squads on his squads page. I'm just going to make sure we can see it. And yeah, so he has a squad screen. So we'll be able to go into that and look at the squads. Then he's looking at where we want him to farm after bounty hunters, and then mods and fleet arena. So those are the the two things that we're looking for there. He does admit to making a mistake. Well, we call it a mistake, which is that he exclusively bought Zeta mats from the fleet store for the longest time, and now he switched to farming ships. So he's trying to figure out how to build a fleet roster. So again, Zeta mats are nice from the fleet store, but getting characters and ships to 7-star is more important. So from that fleet store, it's really important that you guys farm those ships and everything and get them to 7-star, and then farm Zetas. You'll be able to get plenty of Zeta.
I know it sucks, guys, but you've got to farm everything out of those stores first for your overall roster health, right? Listen, give you an example. The Guild Event Store. Farming Yoda and Wampa to 7 stars.
It's a must.
It's a must. And now that I've gotten now that it's done, I don't have anything else to farm out of there. I'm just farming the hell out of gear. Carbonti, stun cuffs, stun guns, whatever I need. And I've been hitting it as hard as I can. But before then, I had to sit there and save it, and I hated it so much because I'd be like, I just need, no, all right, and just do it. So same thing with ships. A lot of us when that store came out, there's a lot of ships that you gotta farm and pick 2 or 3 out of there. Boba Fett, Scimitar, whatever, right? And focus on just getting those ships. It's cyclical too, so it's not like you're going to see them every time there's a refresh on it, right? So you can do, all right, Boba Fett's there, let me get that. Next time you refreshes, oh, there's Scimitar, let me get that, right? That's what you want to be using that energy for. It will eventually lead to where you have a bigger roster, right? Because you want to try to get a lot of those ships and character 7 stars, right? Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum's in there. I mean, there's some characters in there that you need. Charuk, for God's sakes. I mean, so focus on.
And you might already have those. We'll go through his characters.
Oh, sure.
This is just kind of a general thing for you.
Yeah, just in general, guys. I know the Zetas are tempting. However, get your ships up. That way you can do the event, so that when the event comes around Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays, you have a shot at Zetas. If you can get your rest of your roster up, there's other places to get Zetas, right? We have territory wars. So your initial, there's other places you get Zetas. It's a little bit slower, but it'll pay off in the end, because once you get those characters and ships done, then you can just focus on because all I do in that store, Zetas. I don't focus on anything else. It took me a while to get there, but I did it, right? And I farmed everything that I needed, and it's just Zetas now. So it'll come around for you, but let's stay on target and try not to do a little bit here and then go back, and then do a little here and go back. Yes, don't do that. Stay away from the Zetas. Stay focused. The only time you should ever get a Zeta out there, let's say you've got 19 Zetas and you've got a character you can Zeta that you want, like CLS or GTR or Darth Treya, and you just want to wait, yeah, go ahead. I don't mind that, but the rest of the time, get the ships and characters and stuff.
So let's go to his first thing, which is his bounty hunters. Now he's doing fine in arena.
Yeah,
he's getting close to a 7-star Treya, so he's not worried about arena. He's not worried about those. So he's looking for kind of his next faction. And so again, we have people of different levels looking for where to go, right? Just because you have Treya doesn't necessarily mean you're done with the game, right? There's still a lot of things you have to go, and it's hard sometimes to find direction.
Yeah.
So he said he is he's pretty much free to play because the Australian time zone doesn't have too much competition, so he's able to get first in arena. He has 2 competitors in the fleet arena, so he's getting good amount of crystals there. But he will spend when it comes time to certain characters. Last time he spent was Jedi Training Rey, and this time he'll spend for Revin. He put sorry. You don't have to say sorry.
Sorry? You don't have to say sorry.
So what you're looking for then is the bounty hunters is kind of the next thing, because he looks like he has a plan for the KOTOR. So we can take a look at his KOTOR just to see where he is on his path to getting Revin. But then we'll take a look at his bounty hunters.
Give me a second. GG's being really ridiculous. All right, come on. All
right, so looking at his Old Republic, while Ranger's getting it up, his Bastila 7-star.
That's what I need the Viagra for. IPE, Finn, help me.
Jolie is 7-star, Zalbar is 6-star, T3 is 6-star, and Mission is 5-star. So it's actually kind of a good thing where you are Because if you plan on spending money, what you would probably want to buy if you already haven't is the Mission Zalbar pack, so you can get both of those together.
Yeah, T3 is easy to get because out of
and
Cantina.
T3 is a low Cantina, yeah.
Yeah, and
so
you can get that easily.
Yeah,
I wouldn't buy.
He's exactly where I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right where you need to be for this event.
Because you have 2 7-stars. You're more than likely going to end up getting Bastila and Jolie to some ungodly amount that you're going to hate. So
yeah, so you're actually in a position to get Revin, which is fine. I would wait to spend anything, keep your farm going, and see if they're going to do any double drops. See how that works out first. You may not need it. I don't know how far into. Well, it should tell us, right? No, it doesn't. I thought it did, where it said how many.
No, it doesn't tell you how much beyond.
That's right. I know. So, but let's see what happens. I don't know how close you are with T3 or Zalbar, but let's see what happens. See if maybe we get double drops or something like that. The event doesn't start till Thursday, so I would say stay on target on your Old Republic and wait to spend any money until we see what's going to transpire. I mean, we haven't got his kit yet, so just stay on your normal farm for these. I mean, we're expecting Revin's kit to be good. So, I mean, but I'm sure we'll get questions on that. We'll talk about that later on. All right, let's look at the rest of let's just go through his things here and just see what he has.
Yeah, so his next thing is Bounty Hunter.
Yeah,
that was
I'm pulling right there.
First thing. Okay.
Well, we need some work. All right, we found the next
He's basically starting Bounty Hunter. So he's trying to figure out which 5 he should go for. So what he was thinking about was Bosk, Boba, and then IG-88, and he wasn't sure where to go after that in terms of a focus for his bounty.
I wouldn't even bother with any more with IG-88. Your better bet would be Boba Fett. Cad Bane's already 7 stars. Get him to at least 10, possibly 11. Bosk is a priority if you want to make your bounty hunters. I mean, Bosk is amazing. He really is. God, and that bounty hunter team is amazing. It's great on territory wars. It's great on territory battles. It's just a nasty with Bosk lead. I really am more and more loving Bosk lead. Greedo and then Dengar. You got some stuns in there. You got the thermal grenade happening with Greedo and Dengar action. If you do the Omega on Dengar, if you get all the Omegas done there, that's all you really need. And those characters do some amazing stuff. Cad Bane can double tap. You got all these double taps and triple taps happening with the team. So I would say Boba Fett, Cad Bane, Boss, Greedo, Dengar. Now, I did do IG-88 to Gear 11, but that's because I'd had it forever in a day. And when Bounty Hunters were first going, I just needed to get a Bounty Hunter up. But IG-88, there are some benefits to him offensively. He can do the target lock and all that other crap, right? However, he's squishy as balls.
He's very squishy, but he is a crew member now.
Oh, that's true. So never mind.
Yeah, but you still can't get his ship. So his ship is like a squishy ship. So I mean, he has IG-88 at 7 stars.
Yeah, I'm just saying
so he's not far.
Yeah, so if you were taking Gear 11, I don't have a problem with that. Just realize when you go back in to go do the Chewie event that you have your boss. He is a hard node farm you need to be doing.
I mean, if Boss gets the taunt, then IG-88's AOE is a massive heal.
And
it's
nasty.
Benefits.
It ability blocks because you put potency and stuff on him, and crit damage. I mean, he will. I mean, he is nasty when it comes to what he does. However, he can get wiped out instantly if you're not careful because he just doesn't have anything.
Yeah, he needs to get his boss up. But to what you were saying about Cad Bane, though, I mentioned this before. I really like the prospect, and I kind of fooled around with it in Galactic War, and that only... I mean, Galactic War is so kind of weakish now, it's hard to really test. But I've been kind of playing around with Cad Bane under Kira lead, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
When you do Kira with Cad Bane, Enfys, L3, and Zalbar, like, it's a fun little squad. That like stuns and you get protection recovery on Cad Bane and Enfys, and it's just a lot of fun.
Now Dengar, you need to finish the 7 stars and get his Omega on his ability that if he takes damage in stealth, he prevents other people from stealthing. It's really a really good ability, and it's amazing. There's 2 characters that make a huge difference in that Chewie fight. Bosk with his Zeta, right, his leader, And Dengar with his ability that's Omega that allows him to keep them from stealthing. A lot of the problems people were facing that did have boss lead is that they would stealth and then they'd have to try to burn R2 and it was causing them a lot of headaches. However, if you have Dengar's ability Omega, I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, it prevents them from stealthing.
It just makes it so whenever he's crit, he goes into stealth, and when he's stealth, the opponent can't stealth.
Right. It is a must have. And then, Boba Fett gets to gear 11. I have mine at 12, but you can take him to 12 because he is a crew member and his ship is amazing. So if you want to improve your Boba Fett ship's one of the better ones in the game. So that's a win-win situation there. So that's some stuff you can work on your bounty hunters. Let's get boss to 7 stars. Zeta, you want him gear 11 at least. Dengar, got to get him to 7 stars, and you want to get him gear 11.
Another thing about Dengar too, real quick, that like Ranger's saying, that is a must because that keeps R2 from smokescreening the team, and then diverting your attack strategy in that last phase for the Chewie event.
Really quick though, it's not an Omega, Ranger. It's even better.
Oh, it's even better. It's not even Omega.
It's a Zeta ability that you don't need the Zeta.
Oh, very nice.
Really good.
Well, let me look.
That unique on Dengar is really good.
Let me just look here real quick because I'm just going off the top of my head and I haven't had coffee yet, so it's...
Yeah, no, it has a Zeta ability that gives health and protection, but you don't need that. The while Dengar's stealth, enemies can't gain stealth thing happens actually at level 1. You want to up it in order to get kind of the other stuff, but you don't need to get the Omega.
It's not.
Nice.
What is it? Job?
Yeah, because Dengar's the most survivable piece on that team. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, it's a grizzled veteran ability.
Yep, there you go. Yep. So there you go. I can actually. Oh, I need those Mark 7s. God, this thing's a pain in the ass. I was like, wait a minute, I can. No, I can't. You can see I've been just collecting gear out of those stores, and I'm waiting to see what's going on with certain things that. It's like, because I could technically take Wampa to gear 10, or like, god dang it. And I just need one black ball, I think, to get Night Sister Zombie to gear 11. So I'm heavily into gear focus and then the Old Republic farm. But we're talking about Drayton's stuff. So, all right, so we looked at Bounty Hunters, we looked at the Old Republic. Let's just kind of go down the line. Let's just look at Empire, see how his Empire's doing. I think it's going to be pretty damn good. But let's see.
Well, he's comfortable with the rest of his squads. But
okay.
That leads us into the next thing if you want to bring up his GG page. Because he's done something that if you guys want to, it's a good idea. So there's the ability to kind of save squads in-game, right? But there's also the squads feature in GG. And so Drayton actually, in the squads in GG, actually saved a bunch of squads for us. Those are his territory war squads, and he's working what else he can work on in terms of
First
squads.
Order, okay, he's got his Treya team with Enfys, I like that. He's got JTR with the droids.
So let me go to the Treya team really quick. So he has Enfys on there, which is good. I'm jumping ahead, but if you scroll down, he has Enfys also on the Scoundrel Mix team. And so you're now double using Enfys, and so you'll want to consider a replacement for Enfys in your Treya team. And one of those is potentially Dooku.
Yeah,
and shout out to Operation Metaverse for kind of making the first video that I saw about it. Dooku as the 5th on that team works out really nicely.
Yeah, on defense,
it just gives like additional healing to everybody. So that may be one to consider to replace Enfys in the Treya team.
Yeah. I mean, I usually, if I'm going to put Treya on defense, I'll use Dooku. I want Troy. You want Enfys on offense. However, you can use her on defense, but the thing is, if she's got to be insanely fast. You're just. If she's not, then you're going. It's just a waste of space. At least on offense, you can use her to effectively, on any team, basically wipe out somebody. It's really disgusting how good she is. So you have your Night Sisters, which is your JTR killer. You have Finn, which you say is your Treya killer.
Which works as long as your Poe is faster than the opposing team. And
right.
So you can use, so for everyone that's kind of looking at this and trying to get ideas as well, the Finn lead team actually can work out really, really well. The only thing is your Poe has to be the fastest character because your Poe has to go first and do the AoE where they get exposed, so you have the turn meter gain, and they get some turn meter reduction, particularly on Nihilus, because once you start if you debuff Scion and Treya, and you don't turn meter reduce Nihilus, Nihilus is going to gain full turn meter. He's going to cool down, reduce your team, and you're going to start getting stifled.
Yeah, he's got an Empire Treya killer as well with Grand Moff Tarkin, Palpatine,
Imperial Probe Droid, Thrawn, and Death Trooper.
Now, I like Thrawn. So for my Empire team on this, I like Thrawn with Magma and the other three. That one's really, really solid. Because it allows you to control any kind of Treya team you're facing.
Which other three from that team?
So I use Thrawn, Magma Trooper, Palpatine, Imperial Pro Droid, and Death Trooper.
Okay, and so I wanted just to make sure you weren't using Tarkin without Death Trooper.
No. Thrawn, Magma, and Death Trooper, Imperial Pro Droid, and Emperor Palpatine as my team, and you're just controlling the team and letting Magma do his thing, So it's pretty nice. And the Magma
Trooper is potentially a character you want to work on, so you can do that. Yeah. I sometimes don't use Palpatine on that team.
Who do you
I'll
use?
just use like Royal Guard or something, just as an additional taunter to kind of prevent any damage to Magma Trooper.
Sure.
And then still use Emperor Palpatine with Vader as kind of an attack squad for a different team, because just a combination of Vader and Palpatine gives a crap ton of speed.
You could do that. So, I mean, there's different ways you can go about it. So if you want to do that, I have no problem with that. Because you could put Royal Guard in there, or you could go with Short Trooper.
He still ends up staying on my other Imperial Trooper team, so I can't. I haven't been able.
I do like to keep. You could go Palpatine, Vader, and Tarkin. Those TIE fighter pilot, and then Royal Guard. That is a really disgustingly good team. Because if they're fast enough, once they get going, it's just debuff, and you're just wearing and tearing teams down. And then you can keep Thrawn, Magma, Death Trooper, Imperial Probe Droid, Short Trooper as your Treya killer team, and then keep the other guys as part of your Empire team like that. Night Sisters, they are what they are. Jedi.
So his Jedi team, something I mean, you don't have to change it, but the one that you have is strong. The one thing you're doing, though, is you're putting Kenobi on the Jedi team, right? So now you're breaking that GK Barris combo. But it makes your Bastila team really strong.
Yes.
What you can potentially do, though, is replace Kenobi with either Old Ben or...
Kanan.
The other one is Kanan, because you're already putting Ezra here, so you're kind of breaking apart the offense capability of your Phoenix. And so Kanan does fit really nice in here, especially since you also have Chopper in your Jedi Training Rey team. And so your Phoenix is already pretty much dismantled at this point. So you can consider putting in Kanan instead of Kenobi and keeping Kenobi Barris as a counter for another team.
Yeah, and I like to keep... So you could go with your Rex team with Wampa. You can go Kenobi, Zeris, Rex, Wampa. Hell, throwing fives, and all you're doing is protecting Wampa as he goes in and starts munching and just destroying people.
Wampa!
Pretty much. So that's another territory war team you can do. I see you've got the Scoundrel mix, but that's a long way away from being any good. You've got Danger Zone, which is fine. It's a really great Treya killing team. You just have to make sure that your Biggs and Wedge have to be minimum gear 11 to make that work. If not, they do not hit hard enough to do it. It's just a fact. If you can get even gear 12, which is fine, they're pilots, then it makes Danger Zone really, really amazing. Now, the one thing that has changed, though, is now that Chewie's in there, you can take Biggs and Wedge out, go CLS, Han, Chewbacca, Old Ben, and R2, easily can handle a Treya team without a problem. And then you can use like Biggs and Wedge on another team, another combination of something else. So that's something you can consider for the future as well.
I was just looking at his Hermit Yoda. I love the power on him. It's 22,222. 5 twos. As I mean, he's double zeted. He's Hermit Yoda. Nice one, mate.
Yeah. I have a Zeta right now. I'm just holding on to it. I mean, I was looking. I could put on a bunch of characters: JTR, Hermit Yoda. You know, all these secondary Zetas. I was like, do I really?
I did a stupid one earlier this week.
I mean, I could put one on Wampa or IPD. I'm like,
what did you do, Mike?
I did Mission.
I don't think that's a bad one.
I don't think that's a bad one.
It forces you to use Mission with Zalbar all the time, but they're a really powerful combo if you can like gear them both up.
Get a 12.
It's a good combo. I don't think it's necessarily going to be a bad one if you can build that scoundrel team.
I'm interested. I've stuck a Kira lead with those two, Van Dorn Chewie and Young Han.
Oh, you went Young Han. Okay. I would have gone L3 just to have like another...
Yeah, I should have done. I'm kicking myself about that. But they're all Zeted.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I don't think you're going to be disappointed with that. I think because they're like minimal usage, they are a territory war team where you don't have like your full assault complement, right? They're not going to survive in arena, but in territory war, that combination can wreck people if you're not ready for it.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I think you're going to enjoy that Zeta. I think you'll find use of it because I know you have a lot of the other characters already worked on. It's not worth it if you don't have the kind of the rest of the scoundrel team together. But
yeah, I fancy having a crack at that McMull Zalbar salad or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danger zone.
So, I mean, territory-wise, you're looking
pretty solid.
Pretty good. There's just little things here and there that you may want to change, but you're pretty solid on territory wars. Besides bounty hunters, in terms of your next farm, which was the thing he had asked about. So, I mean, really, it's up to you. I would say work on the scoundrels because I really like the Kira lead scoundrels.
Sure.
You don't really have too much of a gap anywhere else in your roster. There might be individual characters here and there that I would say would be worthwhile to work on. Baze, for example, he works out really well. And I believe you have a high-level Chirrut. Where's your Chirrut? I thought I saw him.
I mean, yeah, you could do that. Biggs, Wedge, Chirrut, Base, and Jen.
Yeah, his Chirrut is gear 11.
Go have fun with that 8. Team.
Yeah. I mean, so there's some individual characters that I think would serve you well, maybe not full faction, right? So there is there's Baze. There's also going to be Visa Smar, if you want to work on her. She's a solid character that you can kind of plug and play.
Yeah, I was working on her, and I had to stop because...
Oh, you had to stop Visa Smart.
Yeah, I had to stop Visa Smart.
And another kind of... Okay, and this one, again, is a very late-game team, but another team that can work out really well in territory wars for offense purposes is an I'm a Gundai Jedi team that includes Ayla and Kit Fisto, simply because of the counterattack and the ability to stun and double attack by Kit Fisto. So if you want to work on that, that would be something maybe fun for you to work on. Ewoks is another faction that can do a lot of damage in territory wars. Once you get them, you have so many different options with their kits in order to figure out how you want to attack. So Ewok would be solid with where you are. And then finish Enfys Nest. You have her at 3-star gear 11, so work on her stars, get her up to gear 7-star, so you can get her to gear 12 and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're pretty solid. You have few options on where you want to go in terms of farming because you farmed all the major things. Now you're looking for kind of plug and play or niche teams because you have the kind of the critical ones completed.
There you go.
So a good job on your farming. Your roster is built out very well.
Yep, I like it. Is there anything else we need to cover?
So mods and fleet arena. So if you want to bring up the fleet, I'm going to take a look at his mods really quick, but I mean, looking at his mods overall, he has what I see a lot of people having, which is the occasional mod kind of out of place, but that's probably largely due to slicing more than anything else. So I see, for example, a 19-speed triangle on Kylo Ren, but that's probably because he just sliced it from something lower. But overall, when I look at your gold mods, your gold mods are on your arena team. They're on some of those territory war teams that we were just looking at. I mean, you've done a good job with your mods. I don't see anything in particular that you would need to do. Looking at just overall, you have a lot of 5A mods. And so you're going to be one of the people that I wouldn't normally recommend this to. But for you, you might be at a position where you're like, okay, let me start taking some of these to 6E. And just try to get a boost on some of these secondaries. You can keep on slicing your other ones. You still have a lot of purples. That you have a purple at 19. You have 2 purples at 19, a purple at 17, a purple at 15, 3 of them at 14. So you can still benefit highly from slicing up to 5A. But if you wanted to, for pilot characters, in particular like Thrawn, if you wanted to get extra speed on his capital ship, you could start going up to 6E because you focused very well on your mods, on your arena team and getting them up. So I think you're doing good with your mods. I'll leave it to you to kind of decide. Do you want to get some 6E on your Thrawn, or do you want to just focus on getting more to 5A? I think you will benefit from both of them very well at this point, because now you're either doing a kind of a secondary territory war team, or you'll be focusing on fleet. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at his fleet now. He's got the bugs. Very nice. They're all gear 12. And the ships are 7 stars. Mm-hmm. Very nice. Some ships that I am seeing that you need to finish up. Slave 1 and Scimitar you need to finish them up, buddy. But Slave 1's only at 4 stars. So that is a ship you need to farm out of the store. So you need to do the same thing with Scimitar. Clone Trooper ship, you can just get out, I think, out of GW. So just keep doing that. Rex, you need to get up as well, because they're really good ships, especially on the Galactic Republic fleet. They're just a pain in the ass to deal with. And you've got, I mean, those are the 2 ships that stick out to me the most. The rest are just kind of nice to have. I mean, they're not done, but like Kylo Ren's command shuttle. Great ship, but, not a priority. But Scimitar and Slave 1, definitely. Special Forces, kind of nice to have, but not necessarily. Business U-Wing is a really nice one to have. So if you want to finish that to 7 stars, go for it. I think you did have Cassian's done. You do have Cassian's ship done. Very, very good. But he's got like some really great ships here. So
don't sleep on Lando's Millennium Falcon.
Nope. Don't.
So we've already talked about the Chewie being called a pilot for the Millennium Falcon, right? And we know we're overdue for some new ships. And it wouldn't be surprising that they introduce our first non-capital legendary ship. They've already done the capital ship legendary with Chimera. It is quite possible that they introduce something in terms of a legendary that will be required in order to get the OG Millennium Falcon. And the other 2 Millennium Falcons, the one with Rey and Finn, the Episode 7 Millennium Falcon, as well as the Lando Millennium Falcon, may be needed. Now, Lando's Millennium Falcon is actually really good. You can bring it in late game, especially in territory war. If you can bring it in as like the 3rd reinforcement or something, it gets a bunch of bonuses because there were other ships brought in as reinforcements before it, and it gets buffed that way. So Lando's Millennium Falcon is really good. And so just something to consider. I wouldn't slow down on farming Lando's Millennium Falcon right now, because there is a chance, no time frame yet, I'm not saying it's coming anytime soon, but shards take a while to farm. So stick with Lando's Millennium Falcon, because I see your Lando's only at 3 star as well, and so is your L3. So it doesn't look like you've worked too much on that node, if anything. So consider putting that in your farming once you're done with the KOTOR characters, because I'm sure you're using your fleet energy in order to kind of get some extra shards for those characters. So start farming that Lando node and working on your Lando Millennium Falcon.
That ship is really, really good too.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows, it might be used to get the next Millennium Falcon that Han doesn't pilot.
I do pilot.
It's just Chewie.
We'll get General Lando's.
Listen here,
General Lando and what was his name? Nub.
Shut up.
Nug or something like that.
I do pilot the Falcon.
Well, they did say they weren't going to introduce any characters that were just for the purposes of piloting. They said no to Porkins, which made me sad. And then Nub didn't do anything outside of flying, did he? There was nothing they showed. I'm not saying in the actual war, but they never showed him doing anything besides flying. So I don't think.
Yeah, he was just the co-pilot in the movies.
Yeah. So. Oh well. But yeah, I think overall you've done a really good job with your roster. So if you have any questions, I mean, you know where to find us. Just come onto the RSG Discord. You can tag me or Grande or Ranger or Loki or whatever if you need any help, or you can PM us. But I mean, overall, you're in a very good direction for your roster. We looked at your bounty hunters and gave you an idea about what to farm next. Territory wars, just a few things here and there, what you can farm next. So, yeah, good job. I think that covers everything. Ranger. Did we lose Ranger? Can you guys hear me?
Bueller.
Okay.
Sorry, I got it.
Bueller.
I got distracted. Damn it. Too much going on. I apologize. All right, anything else?
No worries.
Pulling a grande on us, man.
No, I basically the old wife came in and had me sign something and ask me a question, and I'm like, oh shit. So all right, so we're good on Drayton. And Drayton, as we always say, if you have any questions, you know where to find us, my friend. We're more glad to help you out. But stick with what we said, and you'll be good to go, my friend. So, all right. So I have a question. I got my roster up here. Should I use all the gear on WOMP or just keep hoarding it right now?
I can't see. It's still updating on the stream. What gear is your Wampa?
He is gear 9, and I can take him to gear 10.
And what are the gear pieces?
Well, I've got the stun cuffs and all that other stuff ready to go. And I could do.
I mean, if you're focusing on Wampa, start moving him up. He's worthwhile to get to gear 11. I just don't know where you are from 10 to 11.
Oh, I don't know. So let's find out. I just wanted to.
I'm looking at your. Okay, so it showed up on screen now. Yeah, I would take your Wampa. Your other characters are pretty much where they should be with regards to your gear, unless you don't have the piece to take Zombie up anymore. So yeah.
Yeah, she just needs a black ball.
Yeah, I would work on your Wampa. He doesn't even need a Zeta. Now, if you put a Zeta on his cornered beast, like, he ends up being really good, but you don't even need it.
All right, so now, of course, more black balls.
Of course.
Jesus Christ. And I need those, and then I need... now I need those. I've been ignoring these this whole time. And this MK9 Neurosav.
Welcome to Star Wars Galaxy.
Oh, let's just start buying it. So I get some there.
All right.
And then,
let me start.
I can buy
questions.
1.75 million. Yes, thank you very much. I'll take 25 of those.
All right. Let me start grabbing questions here. So if you guys have questions, make sure you put them in the chat and start it with questions so we can identify them. First question is from JLY9. Question. What Thrawn Magma Trooper teams are best for taking down trail walls in Territory War? Also, how should Magma be modded? What are potency and tenacity goals? Thanks.
Well, it's pretty much any team with Thrawn and Magma on it will work.
Well, kinda. So, if they have a Thrawn or an Enfys, you need to have Death Trooper on there because, well, Death Trooper serves two purposes. The first thing is that if your Thrawn is fast and you can get your Thrawn to turn meter swap first, you want to turn meter swap with Death Trooper so he can do his AoE and reduce cooldowns. So Death Trooper is really critical to that team. Not to mention that Magma Trooper's basic, while it's going to trigger Magma's unique to gain turn meter as well as Thrawn's leader, it attacks more than one target. And so if you attack Thrawn, if Thrawn has a fracture up, if the opposing team has a Thrawn, or if you attack while the opposing team has an Enfys, every time you attack, there's a chance that it's going to attack Enfys, and Enfys is going to counterattack and hit your Magma. So your Magma could die as a result of you trying to do this technique. So what you need then is Death Trooper, because Death Trooper dazes on his basic. And so you have to land that daze on Enfys or Thrawn in order to make sure that they don't counterattack when your Magma is attacking. So those are kind of the three critical ones. Now, the other two, you can kind of go with whatever. Ranger mentioned that he uses Imperial Probe Droid and EP. I use IPD and Royal Guard just for an additional tank. But really, it doesn't matter what the rest of the team is. You also need Death Trooper. If you don't have Death Trooper on this team, you better make sure that the opposition doesn't have a counter-attacking character, which also includes Dooku, who I mentioned as a fit that I like to use as well. Dooku will also counterattack, and he'll heal, right? He'll double heal. So it's really important that you get a daze on any countering character, and you want Death Trooper for the cooldown reduction as well. In terms of modding, there are two different thoughts as to how you want to go with the modding. One is that you mod with potency, and that's what I prefer, because your sequence of attacks with Magma Trooper is going to be to use his basic until his AoE is up. When Magma Trooper's AoE is up, you hit it, and the key for that is that it gets turn meter reduction on the rest of the squads, because the combination of Thrawn and Magma Trooper only gives Magma Trooper 90% turn meter. It's not 100%. And so the opposition will gain turn meter as your Magma Trooper is going. And so you need to hit that AoE in order to reduce turn meter on the opposition. And so potency ends up being really important. Some people mod with tenacity in order to prevent the pain from landing on your Magma Trooper, because Magma Trooper already has a high tenacity. You load him up with tenacity. It prevents the pain, which then reduces the chance that the opposing Scion is going to go into Super Saiyan mode and become unkillable. But you can stop that by putting a fracture on Scion before you start attacking with Magma Trooper. So there's a few different options. I know it's not like the easiest answer, but a lot of it is before you go into battle with Traya, make sure that you see what the speeds of the characters are so you know what your attack strategy is going to be.
Well, and that's also, I also see why you put Death Trooper in there too, is because if Scion does pop his I cannot die thing, Death Trooper will make sure he does die.
Yep. Yeah. Terminate is fantastic for that.
So for me, I use, if I don't plan on using my Imperial Troopers on their own, I use Veers and Stark as the 4th and 5th. And then if I do plan on using the Troopers, to stretch my roster out a little bit more, I'll use Royal Guard and Director Krennic. Krennic has that AoE stagger and buff immunity too. They cleanse the buff immunity, but it keeps Scion from popping it up until his next turn, at least before he cleanses the buff immunity. So there's a way to kind of derail Scion's taunting for a little while.
And Paul, I never said Super Saiyans can't die. It's just he gets an extra life. Scion goes into Super Saiyan mode and gets an extra life. It doesn't become unkillable.
And another good plus too, you get a lot of synergy obviously with Death Trooper and Krennic. So like say for example, if Krennic gets hit, Death Trooper gains all that turn meter back too. So
yeah, maybe that's what we need. We need Vegeta from the bridge Dragon Ball Z in this game. Damn it, Nappa.
All right. Next question, David Bond. Question, Ranger. God. Did you hear that Cubspan Han is going to be getting Revin?
Yes, I was watching the stream.
I know. I popped in on that last night. He was pouring the donations in. I was like, "What the?"
I mean,
listen, he needs to Zeta Paris.
Don't be hating on people because
no. I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. Listen, people are free to do with their money what they want, and I'm happy to see that Cubs will be able to get Revin. I have a different philosophy on it. I've spoken my piece about what I think about Revin and this whole fiasco that I think is CG doing this. I was thinking about this the other day, because I was talking. I can't remember who I was talking to, but I'm not full free to play. I mean, I've spent a couple thousand on this game easily, right? And I've busted my ass and I've made my roster the way it is. And I have a really excellent roster. And I'm just thinking, like, it's just never enough. Now, for me, someone that has made a lot of investment, for me, thousands of dollars is kind of a nice investment into a company, right? But it's like it feels like they want more, right? And it's fine. My thing on Revin is, if that's how they want to do it, kudos to them. However, I am going to call them out on what it is. If you don't have a problem with it, that's fine. But I have a huge problem with this shift and what they are doing with these characters. I understand they have to make money, but they're making a fortune already. So I'm baffled as to what they're, as someone that has.
I wish they just made DLC on how you could dress up the characters. Because if they sold, and I'm going to put this out right now, if they put out like April Fool's DLC costumes where you could dress up Nihilus in a tutu for $20, I'll tell you right now, I would probably buy it.
Sure. So
I could have a tutu wearing Nihilus in game. Like, they could easily do costumes and other things on the Star Wars characters that you could do. They could have different Jedi robes of different colors. I mean, there's other ways games have made money. It's just the way they do this here. It's part of the EA thing. It makes it seem like it's greedy every time they do it. And we know they have to make
We're in the era of the high ground paid DLCs where you pay money to get ahead. Unfortunate, but true.
It's true.
Yeah.
The era
another thing too.
I still want a tutu Nihilus for April Fool's.
It's like hey, think about it this way though. Like let's shelf Revin for a second, right? Like how many marquees do we get this year, and how many people wailed out on marquee characters alone? So how they can't be hurting for money. You can't be hurting for money right now, and then you're gonna twist our arm like this. It's a little.
What I'll say with
much.
that, from the business side, that income came in the last quarter. And so if they suddenly have a drop this quarter because all the money came in last quarter, that's going to look very poorly on them.
Well, not a lot of people are going to wail out on Revin either, too. So
they're letting the accountants make the decisions.
Yeah, we'll see if they do or don't. I mean, in the end, it depends on what the bottom line is. We won't be able to see the numbers, right? They'll have the numbers. They'll know whether or not they are or are not getting the money. But I mean, the most vocal people. And this is the way it always is, in typically, right? The most vocal people are typically the ones in opposition of whatever's going on. And so the people that are going to spend may not be saying they're going to spend, especially since right now there's a lot of people I don't know why, people get angry whenever they say they're going to get it. Like, people have been hating on Grande because Grande saying he's going to get Revin. It's like, what?
Well,
there's nothing wrong with it.
I think it's because
that's going to happen anyways.
Well, people are pissed off because people are spending money on this because it's supporting this type of release and actions that CG is taking. It's not the fact that they're getting it or they're going to unlock it. It's the fact that they're condoning this practice.
Right, but it may not affect them as much as
listen, we don't have any problem with anybody getting Revin. Let's make that very clear. My philosophy, and I've been telling people, is if you are upset about this, you only have two ways to speak your mind, and that is through your wallet, right? And by giving them low marks on like the App Store, things of that nature, right? You can voice your opinion, right, on Reddit and the forums and stuff. They may listen to it, they may not. I think they do listen to it. I give them credit. They do listen to the feedback from the community, and they've done a much better job at that. But the only way you can affect change with a company is,
bottom line.
They work for us. Y'all, I think this is a big thing. They work for us, not the other way around. We do not work for CG. This is a game this is a product that they are trying to get us to invest in. We are what's more important as a community, right?
Yeah, we're the ones paying their paychecks.
So,
for the most part,
it behooves them to have a happy community. And from everything I've seen, a vast majority are not happy with this. I've looked at some of the polls that some of the people have done online. It's like, damn. So, but irregardless, listen, all I can do is say, if you don't like this behavior, don't participate in it. If
don't be hating on people that are.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, if someone wants to get Revin, let them, and that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. Keep your.
Just be nice. I mean, we have to be a community after all. We have people with different spending habits, different financial means, and all that kind of stuff. There's no reason to hate on somebody because they're able to spend.
Right.
That's just silly.
I am not. The money that I've spent in the past and the only money I've spent recently is because through our donations and stuff.
Well, unless it's Grande. You can give him a hard time anytime.
Well, yeah, but that's just because he's Grande.
Grande comes in and says, I'm at the pool chilling. Like, shut up, Grande. Mimsy!
I was playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, buying those KOTOR packs, and my fingers are starting to prune. This is freaking grande. Okay, so
poor boy.
Next question. Mr. Penny Pinch, question for Finn and Ranger. I decided to keep my casino winnings, and my wife and I decided we were going to join you guys at the run at Disney. Awesome!
Yay!
Can you get with me, Finn, and let me know what I need to join RSG? Yeah. Hit me up on Discord. I'll give you the information on what you need to do and how you can join us and everything for the run.
Yeah,
that is not a problem.
Yeah, if you guys would like to come down to Disney, I mean, and support us or meet up with us, you know, in April, I mean, get with Finn. He can give you the details of it and stuff. I mean,
yeah, so it is the weekend of April 6th and 7th. So April 6th and 7th, the run is going to be on Sunday morning at the 7th. And we are planning on doing stuff like the parks and stuff on the 6th and the 7th. If you guys want to join us, as it'll kind of be like the first RSG convention of sorts. And so
the
you guys
7th
can...
at 7?
What was that?
The 7th at 7?
Oh, no, the 7th, the run is at like 5:30 in the morning, but we'll be done by like 9 or something going into the park. the half marathon is at 5:30 in the morning on the 7th. It's insane. But yeah, so if you want, then yeah, it's the 6th and the 7th is that weekend. We'll be going into the Disney parks. We'll probably have actually some ACS people with us as well, because we'll be meeting up with them, like the RSG crew will be meeting up with them like the day before and getting our stuff set up with them. So it's going to be a fun weekend if you guys are able to join and kind of come out for that. So yeah. That's the weekend. So just hit me up in Discord, and I can start giving you some of the information in order to join in with that.
There you go.
All right. Next question is from Chewy. Question: my guild is having issues getting guild participation in Sith Raid. We're going T6, and 1/4 of the members haven't hit since Sunday. How can we garner more participation from our members? If you're doing Tier 6, there's no reason for complacency, to be honest. Assuming your guild is together in focusing to work towards heroic. So we mentioned before, like, it's important to find a guild that has the same kind of mindset as you. And there's a bunch of different ways that you can go about this game. Some guilds have mandatory character farms. Some guilds have mandatory participation. Some guilds have mandatory 600. Some will give you some leeway with the 600. Some will make sure that you always are attacking until you're in heroic. Some will be like, just attack whenever you want. It's no big deal. We're just kind of doing this for fun. Whatever it is, your guild has to be of the same mindset as the people in the guild. And so this may be a bigger discussion. I don't know if this is, you're saying my guild as in that's the guild you're in, or whether you're one of the officers or leaders. But whatever it is, it's something to have a discussion with your guild. Like, do we make sure everyone is on the same page? Just tag everyone and be like, do we want to get to Heroic Sith Raid, or is this going to be a casual thing? And you'll have probably some of your higher GP players coming out and be like, no, we want to get this to heroic. And then we're going to be like, yeah, so we're gonna make it so participation is mandatory. You have to use your 5 attacks per day. We'll be tracking your damage or whatever it is. You can just take screenshots and put it in like an officer channel that you guys can track it. I mean, there's a bunch of things you guys can do in order to get participation, but it's something you have to enforce. Yeah. And figure out whether or not it's the direction of the guild that you want to go in. It's not a simple just do this, because your guild might not be the focus of most of the people in your guild. Most of the people in your guild will be like, well, I just want to come in here, hit it if I have a chance. If we don't hit it, it's no big deal. I'm not in a hurry to get Treya. I'm only 500 in arena, and so it doesn't really matter. Whatever it is, there's a bunch of reasons why some people don't participate as much. And that's why you have to make sure that the guild is all of the same mindset.
Yeah, it's about setting expectations and parameters, right? So if you are in a guild and your goal is to reach Heroic Sith, then you have to lay out the groundwork for what's the expectation you have for players in your guild. You know, you have to have that solid foundation of like, okay, this is what we're trying to accomplish. Communication is always important, right? And then you see where they're at. If they want to be a guild that is casual, and that doesn't work for you, you go to another guild. However, if you are in a guild where majority of the players want to try to go for Heroic Sith, and you have some that are not, then you have to start shuffling. You know, you're gonna have to start replacing those players. And it's not personal. It's just like, okay, I understand you want to play like this, but our guild is trying to reach a certain level, If you're on board with that, great. We'd love to have you. If not, then we got to find you another home, because I need to bring players in here that are interested in helping us progress to that next stage. And that's just the nature of the game. But it depends on what is the expectation in your guild. If your guild doesn't have any requirements for the raid and it's just casual, then what your expectation for players is, what, I don't have to participate. It's not required and blah, blah, blah. It's not mandatory. If you are in a guild that it is, then yeah, they should be participating, because it's a group effort. Plain and simple. And if the group is not on the same page and they're not doing it, then you have to look at, well, what is our communication on this? What is the standard? Are we holding players accountable to that standard? Or are we holding ourselves accountable to that standard? So that's some stuff you need to look at there.
All right. Next question, Revinator. Question: should I purchase Grievous shards out of the shard shop to get shard shop currency? No.
What?
No.
What?
You lose shard shop currency if you exchange Grievous shards you bought for shard shop currency back to the shard shop.
What the hell?
That's like the worst shard laundering scheme ever, because you lose it all. Don't do that.
What the hell?
Just do it as Galactic War.
Someone's been talking to Grande too much.
So, to be fair, when it first came out, I did do a check to see if that was the way it was set up. I figured they set up the numbers correctly, but I checked to see if I could buy Grievous shards cheaper than what I would get by putting Grievous shards back into the shard shop to basically give myself infinite shard shop currency, but it didn't work that way, so. Yeah, don't do that. Camille Bohalski, question: any advice for a new Jedi Training Ray owner for Heroic Sith? Well, congrats on the Jedi Training Ray. Mm-hmm. How to mod min gear levels and how to use exactly and where. She needs speed. She needs crit chance. She needs gear 11. And you use her in phase 1 as a leader with the Zeta leader ability. I mean, that's pretty much it. Then the rest of your team is going to be Jedi Training Ray, R2, BB-8, Resistance Trooper with a question, with like a kind of a question mark 5th, which can be Scavenger Ray, Visa Smar, Barris, Hermit Yoda. You have a few different options for that one. Yeah, and that's it. Frederick Nielsen, question for Finn: what's RSG size, strategy, and territory wars? Well, we just kind of go in there, we throw things in, and then we cry as we'll lose to you. I'm pretty sure he's in the guild. Yeah. The guild we're facing, so yeah. So yeah, don't worry, you're fine. You don't even have to attack. You guys will probably win. Just don't attack. It'll make it easier on us. We'll be able to take it a little bit better. The tears won't be as salty. Question, Kazekage Too Easy. Question: can I bring Kanye West to the CG Purge Ranger? He wants to hang out.
No, keep that fool away from me, because he said some stupid stuff in the past. I would just beat his ass on sight for some of the dumb crap he said. He's such an idiot.
All right,
brilliant musician. I love some of his music, but he is an idiot. God, idiot savant is what we should call him. Because
next question. I do have a Zeta to use. Who should I do it to? Jedi Training Race 3rd Zeta, Hermit Yoda 2nd Zeta, Grandmaster Yoda's Unique, or Dooku, nowhere near Heroic Sith Raid. None? Can I say none?
Yeah.
I would say none.
I mean, I got both on Hermit Yoda. That's a good one, but if you're not doing Heroic Sith, then you don't really need it.
Yeah.
I mean, same with Yoda's Unique. It's not like a must-have. It makes the team better, and it depends on where you're at with your Jedi, but I haven't done it personally, and I probably won't do it for a little while until I look to invest more into the Jedi faction itself.
Yeah, I mean, I would just save it. We probably have other characters coming. I mean, I still wouldn't put it past them that C-3PO is sometime coming as a marquee character and may end up being viable at 3 stars. And so I would just save the Zetas, honestly. There's no hurry, I don't think, to use it.
I mean, for one, we still don't know what's down the road. And on top of that, if anything, there could be...
Oh, but we do. The road ahead said it's Revin.
Yeah, well, that's something I've been listening to, like some other podcasts. It's like, the video was like a glimpse, right? But it's not the whole road ahead, right? It's not just Revin and the Tinterac and everything like that. I mean, there's more down the road for this next quarter too. So.
All right. Next question from Camille Bohalski. Question: can we get a Danger Zone rework so we could listen to Ranger singing Top Gun more often?
Danger Zone.
Every time I hear that, I hear Archer yelling, "Lana!"
Danger Zone.
Bradzo Swuggo. Question: any thoughts about Revin now, or still the same feeling about the event? The timing hasn't changed, so no, same feeling. Our issue was with the timing of it all. We don't know the character kit, we don't know anything else. Just simply the release timing was our issue. So
yeah.
Mr. Pennypinch, question for panel: can you all give your honest opinion on Cubs asking or getting money for Revin? My opinion is that he's using his platform in the wrong way. He has been asking people to donate for. Okay, so I'll give you mine. Everyone else can give if they want to open up. So for some people, they're trying to make this their livelihood. Mm-hmm. I'll say that right now. They're trying to make it their livelihood. And so getting more people to donate, getting more people interested is what they're doing. We do live streams because, one, it's more fun for us to kind of interact with you guys while we're doing our streams and all of that. Two, we're not game changers, so we don't get access to some of this stuff early. And so most of the content that we'll be putting out ends up being a little bit late. We've tried in the past to do like raid content and some character stuff, but unless we live stream it, there just isn't enough time to do all the production. And so those guys, Arnold, Cubs, Mobile Gamer, Warrior, I mean, they put time in order to produce those videos. That being said, we're doing this for fun, and if we ask for donations, it literally is just to kind of help us get to the point where we can kind of run this stream. There's a lot of expenses in terms of getting the bandwidth in order to do live streaming, which is what today, graciously from you guys, we were able to get everything we needed in order to basically get the internet kind of fixed up. We're working on better software and stuff in order to be able to do that. So all the money, when we tell you guys, like, the money that we get either goes directly back into the stream or it goes into the charity stuff when we tell you about that charity stuff. There have been times that you guys have given us money directly in order to buy stuff. And it happened with the Chewy event, right? Where some of you guys gave money directly to Ranger for the explicit purpose of buying the bounty hunter stuff. And I mean, we didn't ask for it. You guys kind of gave it. We were having fun laughing at Ranger failing miserably at the Chewy event repeatedly. Yeah. And so, I mean, it's up to every individual person as to whether or not they want to give money to something like that. And it's also up to the person whether or not they want to ask. We've just made it for us. It's not something that we really ask for. You guys have asked us in the past, like, open packs and stuff. And so if you look on the Patreon, like, one of the later goals, we have all the stuff for the stream first. And then we have a later goal in Patreon, which is like, yeah, if you guys want us to open packs, we'll open packs for you guys, but we don't ask for the money directly just to open it for the fun of it. We'd rather put it back into the stream and improve. We have a lot of stuff we need to work on, like better web conferencing stuff and all of that. So it's up to each person whether or not they want to ask or don't ask. I don't really have an opinion one way or the other. It's just not the way we do it. But that isn't to say that it's the right way, wrong way, whatever. It's just not the way we do it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I could care less. I mean, kudos to Cubs. You know, I mean, if he wants to ask his fans and they want to support him in that endeavor, hey, kudos to them. You know, I don't have any problem with it. I really don't. You know, I mean, if you want to, if that's for him to get Revin and stuff for his channel, then I don't have any problem with it, you know. So, you know, we all have different goals and tasks and things that we're trying to do with YouTube and things of that nature. And, you know, each person has to make that assessment and do what they think they need to do and stuff like that. And, you know, so for his channel to have to possibly have the opportunity to unlock Revin and show it off and things of that nature, I mean, you know, it is what it is. You know, that's the direction he wants to go in. There's no right or wrong to it, you know, and especially if people want to support him in that endeavor, hey, kudos to them, you know. So I don't have a problem with it. It doesn't really matter to me one way or the other. If he gets Revin from it, great. If he chooses to do something else with it, great. You know, that's for him to decide for his channel what is the best path to take. Anybody else?
Yeah, that's everyone runs their YouTube channel differently. You know, if he wants to take his channel in that direction, that's his own thing to do, and we don't really have any right to, you know, to make him change it. Yeah, to you know, it's his channel. He can do with it what he wants. If he wants to go that direction, it's his decision, not ours.
Yeah.
So,
right. I mean, and to the fact of that too, it's like, you know, everybody, like Grim said, runs their YouTube channel differently, and you know, they have, you know, different supporters, and you know, he's got a Discord full of people too as well. He's got a lot of people that follow him, and I mean, yeah, at first when I saw it, I was like, well, lucky him. That's good for him, you know what I mean? And that's all you can really say at the end of the day, because you know, everybody approaches their YouTube channel and this game itself differently. So if you know his fans want him to get Revin, they obviously paid for it. So it's something, you know, he's worked on over time. You know, he's worked on for a long time. You know, he's put into his channel for a while, and you know, obviously his supporters want that for him. So good for him, good for them. That's what it really boils down to at the end of the day.
Yep. Anybody else?
So if you want Ranger to get Revin, no, I'm just kidding.
No, especially right now with what we're doing, we'd rather have the money go towards our
I was just joking.
And then,
well, yeah, I mean,
I know.
We'll just, if you want to support us then for the channel, then just go to our Patreon. If you want to, or if you want to skip all that and just give some money, we've got it set up to where on the YouTube page you can go directly to our PayPal account, right? That is there, but I mean, for us, the focus is the GoFundMe for ACS and stuff like that. But we're not. Trust me, it would be nice if we one day get to the point to where we do make enough to where not only is what we need to take care of bill wise and stuff taken care of, but we have extra where we can do stuff like that for you guys. And that's kind of the goal. But you know, everybody to each their own. Rock and roll. All right, next question.
All right. Next question is from Sean Harriman. Question: who's watched any of the new Resistance show? Will we see any new game content for the show this year?
I have. I haven't seen episode 4 yet. I like it a lot. I think it's a really clever show so far. Introducing a whole bunch of new characters. I am fascinated by some of the character arcs in there. Poe is in there. BB-8 is a part of it. It's because we have seen some stuff like with little bits and snippets of the First Order and things of that nature. So I've really enjoyed it. Will we see anything anytime soon for those characters? I don't think so. I think the earliest we'll see anything is next year for those characters. I'd be shocked if they were introducing any of those characters into the game. It's still in its early stages. People are getting to know the characters. I always said that if you're going to market something like that, you know, wait to see how the fans respond to it. If the fans respond to it overwhelmingly like they did with Rebels, then you bet your ass they're going to put stuff like that in the game because people love the characters and things of that nature. It's the same with coming up with the Clone Wars saga that they're continuing. If any of the characters or versions of those characters in that are really popular and stuff in the Clone War, Disney,
like Nines.
I mean, they're going to introduce those characters somehow, some way, because people will want to see them in the game and they will want to play with those characters. It makes sense. But if the show's not popular, it gets canceled after one season, it's very unlikely to for us to see anything with it. I mean, look at the solo characters. They did some stuff with the solo characters, but that was because of a movie. Movies are different. TV shows are at a different genre and format together. So movies is kind of a way to promote the movie and stuff, like things of that nature, but TV shows are a little bit different. So the characters in TV shows and stuff like that takes time to get in. Movies is like, whether the movie is good or not, or popular or not, they are going to bring some of those characters into the game because people are going to go to the movie, then they get to see that they can play those characters in Galaxy Heroes, and that's a win-win. But the TV show, they don't know yet what it is. Movies is kind of instantaneous. You either know it's a hit or not. TV shows, it takes a little bit to see how it goes over time.
Right. Then they need a way to kind of drive it to, you know, like a building point up to something, right? So, you know, like take example for like the Phoenix characters, it took them 3 seasons to put any of those characters into the game, and they had the building point up to Thrawn. So, you know, you have a new show that's just starting into its first couple episodes, going back to the Phoenix characters. We didn't get anything for 3 seasons, and that led up to something else. So it's just depending on the path of the show and the storytelling and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Slightly different example. Didn't they pull Family Guy for a period of time?
Yeah, but they were citing that as low ratings.
Yeah, no, I know, but I mean that just, that steamrolled, didn't it? And then it's like, oh, hang on, no, let's continue it. Sort of.
Well, that was because of Adult Swim. So Adult Swim picked up the reruns of Family Guy, and people just loved it, and the ratings were ridiculously high. So essentially, Adult Swim brought back Family Guy. So it was pretty funny, and that's why if you see it every now and then, they poke fun at Robot Chicken and stuff, because there's a relationship now between Family Guy and Adult Swim, and Seth Green being on both Family Guy and Robot Chicken and stuff. It's actually pretty fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, we got a few more questions here. Next one, what else? 73 question: do you think they'll release Revin's kit today, but are waiting until RSG stream is over to be sure they get less heat about it?
We'll stream about that kit no matter what time it comes.
No, they typically release around 2 p.m. I'd be surprised if it wasn't today at 2 p.m. To give a couple of days notice before the actual release. So I think it'll be
this has
today,
been odd,
maybe
though.
tomorrow.
This has been odd, though. Usually the kit reveal comes out way earlier than this. I'm kind of shocked that...
well, we had the rumors and everything circulating, right? That the kit wasn't good and they're changing everything.
Yeah,
there was a Carrie post saying that people have to work overnight. I mean, so it's possible Revin's kit, there was something wrong with it, so...
It could be that. I mean, we don't know, and I don't like to do the rumor mongering, but... It is odd that up to this point on the character that people are freaking out about with the event that starts in 2 days that we don't have any kit reveal. So if it's not today, then that's really going to start pushing me into the realm, Finn, of
another rant.
No, I'm done ranting about Revin. I've said my piece about that, but I'm going to question what the hell is going on over there. You know, I mean.
My guess is that the Revin kit wasn't as good as they thought it was going to be, and with the backlash from the release, they figured that they might have to make it better than what it was, and so they had to improve.
Or they were just saying that to appease everyone. They were really at Crumb's backyard having a barbecue over the weekend because all the money they made off of all the panic farmers spending a shit of money on those packs.
Some guy with a tablet standing around watching the money raise up. Guys, we're at this much. Woo! Now we're at this much. Woo!
Like the same way we were doing with the charity stream, but they're just
fetch more foie gras.
Guys, we're at this much now. Woo!
Next question, Revinator. Where is Sanely and why is he not reading his questions? Sanely has school.
Mm-hmm. His school schedule is really keeping him busy, so he comes on when he can, and when he can, he can't.
Mm-hmm. He'll be back. Don't worry. Our soulless one will return.
Priorities.
Hellenix from Uwal and Corellia, so this is our last one. Question, who is unlocking Revin on today's panel? Follow-up, will that many big deals cramp Grande's style? Also, hashtag I blame Finn. Just busting chop, you guys rock. Mike, I think you're going to be unlocking Revin, right?
I hope so. Yeah.
And I think Xylo, you're getting close to it.
Xylo?
He declines to answer on the grounds that might incriminate himself.
Okay.
But Grim, myself, and Ranger don't plan on it. I know from the RSG crew, I think Grande and Loki are planning on it, and McVenom is not. And I don't know about Sanely, actually. I think Sanely is. Not 100%, but I think Sanely is. And then will that many big deals cramp Grande? Nobody's a big deal. Nobody's going to be as big a deal as Grande. It's just the way it works.
Word.
They try, but they never are. And then, hashtag I blame Finn is always correct. That's the way we roll.
Mm-hmm. Science.
All right. That's it for the questions.
All right. So if you're watching this on RSG. We do this every Monday through Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. I'm doing a fleet battle. It's like, chewy. From 12 to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday. Remember, tomorrow we will have our big RSG Wednesday night stream, the longest running live stream in the Galaxy of Heroes. Also, tonight we will be doing, we do a lot of live streams. So if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, know when we're live streaming. Check out our Patreon page if you'd like to support us. You can go check us out, our GoFundMe for the ACS. Tonight we will be doing, I'll do some Battlefront from 6 to 8, roughly around that time. And then we'll do right into the Heroes of the Storm with Dr. Finn and the crew, which is going to include Zabif and all those guys. So should be a lot of fun. So we'll do that for you guys. So best way to know is just to subscribe so you know when we're streaming. So I think that's it for us today. So on behalf of myself and the crew, thank you guys for stopping by. Leave comments, do all that fun stuff, and we will holler at you later.